Does the thought of back to school make your stomach flip just a little? You're picturing rushed mornings, misplaced shoes, homework that's suddenly missing, and maybe even a meltdown before you've had your first sip of coffee. If your child struggles with emotional dysregulation, ADHD, or anxiety, this season can feel more like climbing a mountain than flipping a page on the calendar. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be a season of stress or chaos. Today, I'm sharing practical tools and connection strategies to help you both step into the school year with more calm, confidence, and maybe even a little fun along the way. Welcome to Calm Connection Parenting, where we buckle up for the emotional roller coaster of raising intense and highly sensitive kids and discover some amazing things along the way. I'm your host, Jamie Kirkbride, a mom of 7, parenting coach, professional counselor, and your guide through the wild world of meltdowns, challenging behaviors, and big emotions. If you're exhausted and overwhelmed, feeling like you're always one step away from chaos, searching for a little calm in your day, then you're in the right place. Here, you'll find practical tools and faith-based strategies to transform your family. Together, we'll laugh, we'll learn, and we'll figure out how to turn those messy meltdowns into moments of connection. Let's jump in. If you've ever started the school year feeling like your mornings are a race you didn't sign up for, shoes missing, emotions running high, and the clock ticking down, you're not alone. But here's the good news. Back to school doesn't have to mean chaos and meltdowns. If your child has ADHD, anxiety, maybe those big emotions, there are some simple, doable steps that can make this transition smoother than you may have ever experienced before. And with some intentional planning, gentle connection, and a few simple shifts, you can help your child step into the school year calmer, more confident, and even ready to succeed. As mentioned, I'm Jamie Kirkbride, mom of 7, parenting coach, and encourager for families raising emotionally intense and uniquely wired kids. Suffice to say, I know that the back-to-school season can be stressful. Not just because I've lived it as a mom, but because I've walked alongside many parents navigating it with kids who need a little extra support. So I know this season well, and I've learned a lot from the School of Hard Knocks. Today, we're going to talk about why this transition can be especially challenging for kids with ADHD, anxiety, and emotional dysregulation, and how you can make the shift smoother for both of you. Why is it that this transition can be so tough? Well, for most kids, change brings some level of stress. But for our kids, it can feel more like a tidal wave. A new teacher might mean learning a new communication style, new rules. A different classroom might mean adjusting to new sensory input, different lighting, noises, even smells. And earlier mornings can throw their sleep and mood totally off balance. If your child is easily triggered by the unknown or the unexpected, just imagine how many of those are waiting for them in those first few days or weeks of school until they kind of get the hang of things and start to form that routine. Yes, that routine that allows them to know what to expect at least a little bit. This can tip our kiddos into overstimulated, hypervigilant, or even avoidance and refusal. And the tough part is this child may not even have the words to explain any of these complicated emotions or pressures or stresses that they might feel. And if your child already struggles with focus, impulse control, managing emotions, well, these added stressors can push them into overwhelm even faster. And here's the important thing to remember. Emotional dysregulation isn't about them trying to be difficult. It's about their brain still learning how to manage big feelings in big moments. Now, I want to pause and I want you to think for a moment about the last big transition that your child faced. What made it hard for them? Was it the change in routine, the social dynamics, the sensory overload, or maybe just a combination of all of that? But I want you to keep that in mind as we go through today's strategies. And I apologize, my voice is still really weak, and I'm not quite sure when I'm going to get it back full force, so bear with me. Might sound just a little bit hoarse. Okay, let's tackle strategy 1. Ease into routines. One of the simplest but most powerful things you can do is to start easing into school routines before the first day hits. If your child has been staying up late and sleeping in all summer, maybe begin adjusting that bedtime and those wake-up times in small increments, maybe just 15 minutes earlier every few days, rather than making the big jump. And don't just stop at those sleep schedules. Think about the whole morning flow. You might even consider doing a practice morning where your child gets up, gets dressed, eats breakfast, and packs their bag. Keep it low pressure, maybe even make it fun. You might play some music, have a little countdown. Maybe, for those who really like that little flavor of competition, see if they can beat their getting ready record. This isn't about rushing them into compliance. It's about helping their brain and body warm up to the rhythm that they're going to need for those school mornings. It's kind of like stretching before you go for a run, and you don't want the first day to be the sprint that pulls the big muscle. So pause and reflect for a minute. How does your morning routine feel right now? If it's chaotic or inconsistent, think of one small change you could start this week to make the shift gentler. Now, in just a moment, I want to share one of my favorite back-to-school traditions that my kids look forward to every single year. I call it our back-to-school date. And without them even realizing it, we end up having some of the most meaningful conversations of the whole season. I'll share exactly how it works and why it opens the door for deeper connection in just a minute. But first, I want to tell you about the Calm Connection Parent Coaching Program. Now, don't go anywhere because right after this quick break, I'm going to tell you exactly how these back-to-school dates have helped me really connect with my kids before the school year begins. Parenting a uniquely wired child can feel isolating, right? While other parents are talking about typical tantrums and bedtime battles, you're navigating emotional meltdowns, sensory overload, or challenging behaviors that many people just don't understand. It can be frustrating when the advice you hear just doesn't fit your child, and even harder when you feel like you're alone in the journey. But here's the truth. You don't have to settle for just surviving. In the Calm Connection Parent Coaching Program, I'll help you understand your child's unique wiring and give you faith-based practical strategies to not only manage the emotions and challenging behaviors, but actually help your whole family thrive. With video course, workbooks, a supportive community, and weekly coaching calls, you'll get personalized support every step of the way. If you're ready to stop feeling alone and start finding real solutions that work for you, your child, and your family, then visit calmconnectionparent.com to learn more. Together, let's move you from surviving to thriving. Let's do this. As promised, we're back for strategy 2, have connection conversations. Back to school isn't just about getting supplies ready. It's about getting hearts ready, too. Kids with ADHD, anxiety, or that emotional dysregulation often carry a lot of worry or stress that they can't really explain. If we don't give them that helpful vocabulary or even the space to share, those feelings can start to come out as resistance, defiance, shutting down, or meltdowns. One of my favorite ways to connect before the school year starts is to take each of my kids on a back to school date. It's a fun tradition we've done since our very first started into kindergarten. And for us, that means letting them choose where they go on a date one-on-one with me. And we go school clothes shopping, we get a fun treat, they've chosen where we eat, and then they get to choose where we get that fun treat, like ice cream or maybe root beer floats, whatever they might choose. And we spend time talking about life, summer, the upcoming school year, our relationship together, and even if there's anything special they need from me. I oftentimes even ask them, is there anything you need me to do differently? These can be some really important questions to opening up conversations you might not have otherwise. Spending this time together opens those doors to deeper conversations that can happen naturally through the course of the date, whether it's a lunch date or a dinner date. And because we're out having fun and they're leading some of those choices, they're more relaxed. Those walls start to come down. Sometimes I learn about those little worries that they've been carrying, like not knowing where their locker is or feeling unsure about a certain subject or maybe even a teacher. Other times, they just want to tell me about all the things they're excited about experiencing in the coming year. And here's the thing, those conversations don't feel forced. They happen in between bites of lunch while we're looking for the right pair of jeans. Actually, no, not looking for the right pair of jeans, as there is probably nothing more stressful than helping an emotionally dysregulated child try on jeans. But maybe while we're looking for the right backpack or while they're enjoying their ice cream. And because the pressure isn't on to have a talk, they're oftentimes more open and honest in the conversations. So think about this for a minute. What could a back-to-school date look like for you and your child? It doesn't have to be costly or elaborate. Just something simple that gives them your focused attention and opens the door for connection. Strategy 3, partner with your child's school. Your child's teachers, the school counselor, SPED team, or support staff can be powerful allies. The earlier you connect with them, the better. Maybe a quick email before the first day, introducing yourself, sharing your child's strengths, and maybe even noting any strategies that work well. This can help set a positive tone, communicate your willingness to support them, and your desire to work together in the coming year. If your child has an IEP or a 504, you might review it before school starts and just make sure everything is up to date. Maybe you've discovered some new strategies over the summer, like maybe a sensory tool that helps them focus or a phrase that helps them calm. You'll maybe want to pass that along. Remember, you're building a bridge between home and school. And when your child sees that bridge, it says to them, my parents and my teacher are on the same team and on the same team to help me. That sense of security can make such a difference in your child's school year. So consider this. Who at your child's school do you want to connect with before the first day? Think about who that might be, how you'll reach out, whether it's an email, a phone call, or maybe an in-person visit. Friend, I want you to know this season can stir up worry, especially if you've been through rocky starts. It can be difficult. You might even find yourself dreading a little bit. And that's okay. I understand. But here's the truth. God created your child with a unique purpose. The traits that sometimes make school mornings hard, like endless curiosity, bold opinions, or boundless energy, yes, these are the same traits He can use for something incredible in their life. And our job isn't to erase those traits. It's to guide them, to shape them, and believe in the good that they can bring into their life, even on those messy mornings. So maybe challenge yourself. What is one strength you see in your child that you can remind yourself of during those difficult mornings? Now, if you're listening and you're thinking, yes, man, I need more help with this, I'd love to invite you into the Calm Connection Parent Coaching Program. In this program, I can help you create routines that work for your family, teach tools for emotional regulation, and show you how to build more peace and joy into your family life and your time spent together so it doesn't have to feel so stressful. You don't have to figure it out all alone. I'm here to help walk this road with you so we can do it together. Now, as you step into the school year, remember, preparation isn't just about sharpened pencils and new shoes. It's about preparing hearts, yours and your child's. Every small step you take now to ease the transition can be considered an investment in a shared calm, confidence, and connection. I know you've heard me say it before, but it's worth repeating. Our goal isn't perfection. There will still be mornings when things don't go as planned. Emotions run high. Your kids are running late. The to-do lists are feeling bigger. The bus is waiting. And you may question if you have enough energy to give. But the truth is, these moments don't erase the progress you're making. When you choose to adjust routines little by little, when you take the time to connect with your child through maybe a back-to-school date or those simple connection conversations, when you work with their teacher as part of the same team, you're planting seeds. And these seeds continue to grow into trust, security, and even resilience for both you and your child. And I want you to remember that the hard moments aren't a sign that you're failing. They're an opportunity to lean in to what you're learning, to try again, to keep practicing and building the connection that matters most. God gave you this child for a reason, and He promised to equip you with what you would need to guide, encourage, and love them through every season, even back to school. So keep showing up with compassion. Keep practicing those small routines. Keep looking for those moments to listen, encourage, and celebrate those little wins along the way. And trust that even if every day isn't perfect, you're still building something good. I'm cheering you on, friend. You've got this. Well, that's it for today. But the journey to calm parenting doesn't stop here. If you are nodding in agreement, laughing, or maybe even crying, don't worry, we've all been there. Make sure to share this podcast with a friend who might need it too. Don't forget to connect with us at parentingwithpersonality.com or join our Parenting with Personality Facebook group. I'd love to support you there. And until next time, you've got this. Just keep calm and parent on.